What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with DFS, and in today's video, I'm going over Week 11's cash plays. I do apologize about the video going out a day later than normal. I will have the GPP video going out, unfortunately, Sunday morning, so do apologize about this. Just my work schedule kind of got in the way, so let's get into it while you're here. So for quarterbacks in cash, I think if you're paying up for a quarterback, I do want to say I do like the Baker Mayfield Josh Allen game. I'm going to save that one though. But Justin Herbert against Jacksonville makes the most sense to me right now. It's 6,300. Kind of seen Justin Herbert be one of those consistent quarterbacks this DFS season. We've seen some of his peak games. We've seen what Jacksonville's defense has been, and they've been very bad. I was very high on Davis Mills last week. Said it a lot of why I liked him, and it came true. They played really good. Now you get Justin Herbert and the Chargers, and they're on the road too, so it should be a boost for Jacksonville's offense at least. Liam Cohen, I mean, their offense has been able to put some points on. It's just their defense has been kind of very up and down, and we saw that clear as day. First half looked really good, and then that second half, it was just a dumpster fire. So getting Justin Herbert and two of his pass catchers in this one definitely seems like a way to go. Justin Herbert more the popular one in cash as far as a Chargers player, but we'll go over some of his pass catchers here soon. Other than that, at quarterback, it seems like a pay down, right? Brock Purdy, 5,800 on the road against Arizona. First game back since week 4. You look at Brock Purdy's 2 games so far, one against that Seattle secondary, the other one against Jacksonville in their secondary, and I mentioned Jacksonville being a hot and cold team, but 2 games that we saw Brock Purdy, 62 and 6,100, and he put up 18.8 and 23.7. Now we get him at 5,800 against an Arizona defense who, yet again, they're a defense that can play really well, but they're dealing with some injuries, especially in the linebacker department. They're dealing with that. Will Johnson, it looks like he's going to miss again. So some hits to that Arizona defense. So I like San Fran in this one, Brock Purdy being one of those pieces. Continue to go down. JJ McCarthy projects really well again here. He's at home this time against Chicago. We saw him the last time against Chicago, obviously on the road in a primetime game. Had a really good fourth quarter, which is kind of what we're seeing out of JJ McCarthy. It's a very roller coaster type of DFS play if you're playing him. Like the stats sometimes are blown up from what we see. It doesn't look the greatest. JJ McCarthy does not truly look the greatest. He is getting a good amount of fantasy points, though, in the run game, right? Gets you 8.5 week 1. Week 2, obviously, injured, I guess. And then he comes back against Detroit. Just real good field positioning out of Minnesota, like as far as the defense getting to the ball, some takeaways, punts, all that stuff. But he doesn't have the greatest game, right? 25 pass attempts, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he gets a rushing touchdown out of that. Last week against Baltimore, gets you 4.8 from the rushing. So you're kind of seeing he needs that rushing side of being a quarterback to really benefit him, and that's the beauty of DFS. We don't always need the passing, right? The rushing could definitely overlook what the passing is sometimes, and that's what a JJ McCarthy is. I would just say to watch out as a Bears fan. I know, but watch out for the Bears injury reports. Secondary could be healthy for the Bears. We'll see with Brisker and Jalen Johnson what's going on there. Don't know if Jalen Johnson's going to play. I would be amazed if he does, but if Jalen Johnson's in, that's a huge hit to the JJ McCarthy likeness. Obviously, the Bears have struggled to rush a passer quite a bit. It seems like their secondary is better than their actual D-line. But for the rushing upside and this type of game scenario, then yeah, I do like JJ McCarthy. Jacoby Brissett on the other side, 4,900. I'm cautious with Jacoby Brissett. Obviously, he's played really damn good. Like, DraftKings is not adjusting his price, so it's really easy to just click and put in Jacoby Brissett. We're seeing that style. We've seen it the last few years with like Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston. We're seeing, Mac Jones is another name last year in Jacksonville and this year in San Francisco. But now we're seeing it with Jacoby Brissett as well, to where he's getting a lot of pass attempts, right? 31, 36, 44, and 44. They did lose Zay Jones. He's on the IR. And then Marvin Harrison has already been ruled out. So you're down 2 pass catchers for Arizona. San Fran, though, I would watch. Their top corner right now did not practice yesterday. So see the status of Lenore. If he's out, then yeah, I do really, really like Jacoby Brissett in this one. And I like this matchup. And I think it's probably the easiest game to stack from a cash perspective of Jacoby with Trey McBride, or you go Brock Purdy with CMC, or you can go Brock Purdy with Kittle. I mean, the scenarios are there. So I do really like Jacoby Brissett in this one as well. And then, yeah, I will be the one if you want another good punt option, even cheaper than Jacoby Brissett, Davis Mills at 4,500 against Tennessee. I do like the running aspect from the Texans, but at 4,500, it's the same thing. What do you need out of Davis Mills at 4,500 to open up the rest of your lineup, right? We don't need Davis Mills to get 28. If he gets 28, it's amazing. Realistically, if we get 15 points out of Davis Mills at 4,500, it opens up the rest of your lineup. So I will mention Davis Mills on the road, division game against Tennessee. I like it again. So moving on to running back. Running back in a really, really good spot this week. I like the way that this slate is kind of opening up of where you're going to see rosters at. So quarterback, like I said, it's Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Jacoby Brissett. Those guys are, I think, all fair plays, and depending on what type of roster build you want, right? CMC at 9K. I just mentioned Arizona's dealing with some linebacker injuries. I think Christian McCaffrey's in a really good spot in this one. We saw him in week 3 get 24 points. Obviously, he's still at 9K after the game against the Rams. And I think he's still in a really good spot against Arizona. And it's easy to do on this slate to plug in a 9K Christian McCaffrey. I do really like Josh Jacobs. The Giants, Thibodeau is out. They have a defensive tackle that's also out. And if you want to play in the narrative of Jameis Winston being the quarterback and potential turnovers, go for it. But Josh Jacobs is one of the best red zone backs in the league. The Giants are one of the worst red zone defenses in the league. A lot is to like for Josh Jacobs in this matchup at 7,800. So I really do like that one. James Cook is on that line between cash and GPP, so I'll just mention him in cash. With Vita Vea being there for Tampa Bay, it's always going to be hard to run against the Bucs. It's not saying it's impossible, obviously, but the receiving aspect is one that James Cook can definitely shine in this matchup. We saw it last week against Miami just to get anything going. He got 5 targets in that game, caught all 5, but didn't really get anything going. I like this matchup. I like the Tampa Bay Buffalo game. I think this game has potential to be one of the highest scoring games on the slate, if not the highest. So I definitely want some exposure to Tampa Bay and Buffalo in this matchup. Rico Dowdle, yet again, a cash play. He's just, he's getting a lot of volume, right? Chuba Hubbard's still going to be somewhat included, but they're going to ride Rico Dowdle. Atlanta dealing with some box injuries, so some defensive linemen, some linebackers, which makes Rico Dowdle likable. Granted, you go back and look at his game against Atlanta in week 3 when you still had Chuba Hubbard. Not the worst game, but lately we've seen Rico Dowdle kind of get the bell cow treatment. Like I said, Chuba Hubbard's still going to be in there, so don't expect Rico Dowdle to get everything, but he is going to get a majority of the work. Rachaad White, yet again, I mentioned him in my first look. A lot of people are turned off by the recent games of Rachaad White, and the only game that truly stands out as a disappointment to me is the game against New Orleans, where he was 13 for 35, 2 receptions, 26 yards. Hasn't really been utilized in the receiving game as much as we've seen in past, to where Rachaad White has never been the best ground running back, like just, rushing. He's been good when catching passes. That is where you're going to get the fantasy upside of Rachaad White. Buffalo has been terrible against a running back all season, so I do think Rachaad White is worth mentioning. But you get a running back for $100 cheaper, which is a huge turnoff for Rachaad White, and Jaylen Warren facing the worst defense against running backs, by far the worst defense against running backs No Trey Hendrickson, no Shamar Stewart, two of their defensive linemen. So yes, Jaylen Warren, I think, is going to be the highest owned player on this slate. Yet again, very easy to plug in a Jaylen Warren in your lineup this week. So Jaylen Warren, 6,100, I think, is going to be in majority of lineups. Chase Brown projects good against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh dealing with some defensive injuries as well. Darius Slay's out. Highsmith, Holcomb, both those guys out. So yet again, some blows to that Pittsburgh defense as well. And at 5,700, he projects out pretty damn good. And then I will throw out this name, whether you like it or not. I'm going to throw out this name, Woody Marks at 5,400 on the road against Tennessee. We saw Woody Marks get the most carries he's gotten since week 4 against Tennessee. 14 rushing attempts, 3 targets in that one, got a touchdown, plays pretty damn good, right? Now you're getting Tennessee. I would watch the status of Jeffrey Simmons. Could make Woody Marks more of a GPP play than tournament, but if you're looking for some value at running back, we do have it. RJ Harvey's another name. But Woody Marks, I would expect him to continue to get a majority of the work. You look at some of the games he's put up. I mean, he's 2.4 and a 2.7. Huge blows. I get it. But 16.1, 15.1, 12.5, and 27.9. At 5,400, it is, up there for price that we've gotten Woody Marks, but I think it's a very cheap price in this matchup, right? We've seen other running backs be 5,700 and above against Tennessee. And now we get Woody Marks at 5,400, so I'm definitely mentioning Woody Marks in this matchup in cash. Wide receiver, JSN against the Rams definitely projects out really damn well. Again, last week, it was, Seattle took, 28 points in the first quarter against Arizona. Didn't really need to utilize Jackson Smith. The defense, special teams played really damn good. So JSN, Puka, those guys are going to project out really well. Obviously, the matchup for Puka is going to be tougher than JSN, which is why JSN just seems better on paper. But Puka's definitely up there as well. Jamar Chase in an amazing spot against Pittsburgh, where we saw the showdown where you got 23 targets for Jamar Chase. But you've seen it with Joe Flacco. He is not afraid to just give the wide receiver the ball, right? We've seen T. Higgins get some plays. But overall, it's Jamar Chase seeing the huge benefit of the pass-friendly Joe Flacco. Now, with Darius Slay out, that's one of the guys that would be covering Jamar Chase in this matchup. Really like it, right? Pittsburgh should win this game. They should run the ball pretty damn successfully, which means, Cincinnati having to pass the ball a little bit more. So Jamar Chase, if you're paying up for somebody, I truly believe Jamar Chase is the best. JSN he's just been a safety net. If you put him in your lineup, I mean, he's pretty consistent of getting you 20 plus points. So, but Jamar Chase, I think, has the higher upside by far. But if you want the safety net, go for JSN. Rashee Rice, I will mention Rashee Rice in cash. I think a lot of people are afraid because of how good Denver is. Their secondary, they're dealing with some defensive injuries as well. Pat Surtain is one of those pieces. So Rashee Rice plays amazing versus man coverage. Seen what he's put up so far in these matchups. Granted, 2 of these games have been blowouts. One was a struggle against Buffalo, but I mean, 18.6 has been the floor so far in 3 games for Rashee Rice. Obviously, his price skyrockets from where we had him at. He's now up to 7,900 from 5,600. But I still think he's one of those guys that you could put in your lineup every week and is going to produce in some type of fashion. Going down, Ladd McConkey at 6,500 definitely stands out to me as a cash play against Jacksonville. Jordan Lewis is out. We kind of saw what the slot was able to do for Houston. Christian Kirk kind of got moved around a little bit. But we saw the pass catchers of Houston just destroy that Jacksonville secondary. So Ladd McConkey at 6,500, definitely another cash play for me this week. We go down. I will mention DK Metcalf at 5,700. I hate mentioning him. He just projects really damn good. He keeps projecting really good. It's just the connection between him and Aaron Rodgers in the play calling bar. Arthur Smith has not been there lately, right? 3 of his last 4 games have been under 10 DraftKings points, torching you, but it's another really good matchup for him. I have to mention him in cash. Wan'Dale Robinson at 5,500 at home against Green Bay. It's scary. It is scary, especially against that Green Bay pass rush against this Giants offensive line. But you got Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's going to throw the ball. He's going to throw the ball a lot. Wan'Dale Robinson is a guy that is going to be a small A-dot receiver, just 4 or 5 yards at a time. That's pretty much how it goes. But he's gotten 10-plus targets in 3 out of the last 4 games. Kind of yet again a safety net. I do hate that DraftKings priced him up to 5,500. I think the 51 to 5,300 range was fair for Wan'Dale, right? He's only gotten 20-plus once in the last, 9 weeks, 8 weeks. So I don't like that Wan'Dale goes up in price. I really don't. Ricky Pearsall at 5,400. If you are playing Brock Purdy and you're looking for a piece, Ricky Pearsall is there. Obviously, he's more expensive than George Kittle. But yet again, we've seen Ricky Pearsall been efficient in this San Fran pass game. Kendrick Bourne kind of took the role one of those games. You've seen Juwan Jennings kind of shine the last few weeks. So Ricky Pearsall, though, being back is definitely a huge boost to that pass offense. So definitely like him in cash. Parker Washington is worth mentioning if Brian Thomas Jr. is out at 5,100. I don't love it. I will mention it right now. I don't love it, but he is going to get ownership in this matchup. Continue to go down Jerry Jeudy. Yet again, I think I've turned, right? I said early on in the first look, I didn't like Jerry Jeudy in this one. Baltimore having some injuries. I think Humphrey is out for Baltimore. So different play calling. We just saw a huge benefit for Jerry Jeudy in the different play calling. So at 4,400, I do really like Jerry Jeudy now. Then kind of step back, look at some stuff further. So his price point is fine. But we will come down to 3,800. We have a 3,800 wide receiver that is going to be very highly owned in cash. And that's Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson at 3,800. If you are looking for a value piece, so you're able to afford Christian McCaffrey, you're able to afford Jamar Chase, you want to pay up a little more at tight end this week, right? Go Trey McBride. Obviously, if you're going Trey McBride and you want to go Michael Wilson, you're probably playing Jacoby Brissett at the same time. If you want to, pay up for George Kittle, say you want to go Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson or something like that. Obviously, you still want Trey McBride, but say you're just going to get different at tight end. Michael Wilson at 3,800 is going to project pretty damn good this week. Good matchup against San Fran. Like I said, if Lenore's out, it's a huge boost for someone like Michael Wilson. He's going to see him quite a bit. So at 3,800 with Marv out, with Zay Jones out, Michael Wilson kind of takes that wide receiver one role. And when I say that, I just mean as far as volume and as far as usage, Michael Wilson would be the number one wide receiver in this matchup. So I will shout out Cedric Tillman. He's a GPP play, but at 3,400, it seems so good with the different play calling. I wish Shador was the quarterback. Going to tight ends. Tight end to me seems you're paying up. You're paying up in some aspect. Trey McBride, yet again, we've seen Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride, and we've seen Trey McBride get pampered the way Kyler did in previous years. But the thing that is different is there's no James Conner. The run game has not been that good. Trey McBride has seen a huge benefit of that run game, not as efficient with James Conner. Just, you're in the red zone, give James Conner the ball, touchdown, and touchdown, and touchdown. And Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison don't see anything. Now we're seeing them definitely get that touchdown upside. And when you see Trey McBride get the touchdown upside, I mean, he's getting 20-plus points in these matchups. Obviously, the one against Dallas was the most shocking one. But, yeah, Trey McBride against the San Fran defense, great. George Kittle, like I said, for a stack for Brock Purdy, George Kittle is cheaper than Ricky Pearsall. So I definitely like George Kittle in this one. I think George Kittle, Brock Purdy is probably better than George Kittle and Mac Jones. Obviously, the huge thing that you have to take into consideration when playing Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Christian McCaffrey, all of them. Well, I won't say Christian McCaffrey. I'll say George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. You don't know who's going to have that great game, right? It's kind of like Detroit almost, except You know Christian McCaffrey is going to have a good game. Who else is going to have a good game for San Fran? Is it George Kittle? Is it Ricky Pearsall? Is it Juwan Jennings? We don't know. But I think this is a game George Kittle can definitely shine in at 5K. If you don't want to go the George Kittle route, like I said, you don't want to take that risk of it being a George Kittle week or not. Gadsden projects out pretty damn good at 4,600 on the road against Jacksonville. Kind of just saw Dalton Schultz go off against them. Now you get Gadsden. Tough match. This was a shock. I will be the first one to say it. When I saw Gadsden against Pittsburgh, I thought he's going to have an amazing game. Against Pittsburgh's defense, going to have an amazing game. He did not. Kind of cooled off the last few weeks. We've seen the fantasy numbers go up, and then we've seen them go down. I think it's a really good bounce back spot for Gadsden. I like the pass attack. I think if you're going Herbert and you want to double stack, Ladd and Gadsden make a lot of sense in this one, so I like him at 4,600. Theo Johnson, 4,100 with Darius Slayton out. Green Bay hasn't played that good against tight ends. And you look at David Njoku's numbers when he had Jameis, and Jameis does target his guys. So Theo Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson, those guys see a majority of the targets in this one. So at 4,100, I love Theo Johnson. And then, I will mention Kyle Pitts again. I think Kyle Pitts is a really good cash option this week. The huge bummer to me was the Week 9 game against New England. But we've seen the last 2 weeks, Atlanta's put up 20-plus points. They're just really good in the run game with Tyler Algier and Bijan combined. But I think it's a really good spot for Kyle Pitts in this one against Carolina. So, other than that, I'm not too interested in much. There's some tournament plays for sure that I will mention tomorrow. But that is pretty much it. So let's build a lineup. I want to do a Brock Purdy one. Let's see what we can do with Brock Purdy. If we're going Brock Purdy, we're going CMC. Let's throw a defense in there. Let's go a cheap defense we could throw in. Denver against KC, Seattle against the Rams. No. Let's put in the Chiefs. Chiefs against Bo Nix. And then we're gonna easily put Jaylen Warren in our lineup. We are going to go throw in Michael Wilson to kind of give us some more salary. Definitely want to get Jamar Chase in my lineup as well. At tight end, we have Brock Purdy. Let's pair him up with George Kittle, and then we have the Michael Wilson run back. Wide receiver. Man, I don't know what this is going to look like. Part of me says Wan'Dale. That leaves us with 32, so we don't have a lot left over. And there's no one down here I really want to go after. Let's see what we got. Damn. I want to keep Kittle in my lineup, but let's see if we could pivot off Kittle. Let's go with Theo Johnson. That opens it up a little more. So we could go someone like a Ricky Pearsall then if we're not playing Kittle. I mean, we still can. We could still play Kittle. Right? What would that look like if I double tight end it and go George Kittle? So we get 4,600 for a wide receiver. I don't love this, but let's throw in someone like a Jerry Jeudy. So, lineup build has a San Fran stack with a Michael Wilson run back. Jalen Warren on the Pittsburgh side, and then we have the Jamar Chase on the other side of that. Double tight end, Theo Johnson, George Kittle, and then the Chiefs defense. Obviously, we could go different, and if we wanted to, I'll just say because it's Davis Mills and it's Houston, and they're yeah, we could go different, and then we can kind of open it up almost, and we could throw Gadsden in at tight end. Throw someone like Woody Marks in the flex, and then still go someone like Jerry Jeudy. So a triple running back, which Tennessee, I don't care. I'm fine with that, right? If Woody Marks scores 2 touchdowns, the Titans defense gets me 3 points. I truly don't care. So, but yeah, that is just an example of a cash build that I truly do like. So I'm able to pay up for McCaffrey, able to pay up for Jamar Chase, and then the rest of the lineup is kind of a more value upside type of build. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.